suitable for you depends on your circumstances. OK, well, are they too complicated, or would we just rather spend the money elsewhere? I'm joined now by Christine Ross of Willis National. Christine, are we missing a trick? Are ISAs the best thing that's ever happened to us?
I think they're better than accounts on which you pay tax, let's put it that way.
Right.
A lot of people are confused just because of this whole mini-maxi thing. And the danger is that people will open too many minis of the same type.
And then what? What happens if you've got too many minis?
In theory, they could actually refund it because you can only have, for example, one cash mini ISA. But I don't think people have actually woken up to that, or certainly not everybody, because I've already seen evidence of multiple minis. So at the end of the tax year, when the revenue finally do catch up, you could actually, the second one could be null and void, so therefore you lose your tax perks. The good point, if we just concentrate for a moment on the mini cash ISA, is that, like a lot of accounts, these are really being subsidised by other accounts because banks and building societies want to attract savers into this new tax-free savings regime. They want to capture the market. Therefore, you see interest rates perhaps even 1% above the base rate, which obviously is not profitable for the institution, but they're subsidising that with less interest on other less popular accounts.
So at least in the short term, that's very good news.
Absolutely.
How do we decide whether we go the maxi or the mini route?
It really
any route?
It depends on how much you actually want to invest in total. If you are not going to invest anywhere near the total 7,000 allowance, then it doesn't really matter. You might have some in cash with one provider and have some unit trust savings, maybe £50 a month if you can afford it, into a stocks and shares fund. But if you actually do want to put the full amount in, then it is important you study carefully, because if you actually have a mini cash one with your £3,000, then you're limited in stocks and shares to £3,000 only, and you may not want the insurance element of £1,000. So you could, with one provider, have a maxi, £3,000 cash, £4,000 stocks and shares. You get more tax-free for your allowance.
Very briefly, is this a long-term, short-term, medium-term investment?
Cash can be short-term, no holding period. If you're going to the stock market, do consider it at the outset for 5 years.
Christine Ross, thanks for joining us this morning. Well, I hope that sorted you out. Now, he's destined to always be the victim, and nobody knows why he ended up being shot in the library, or was it stabbed in the hall? We are, of course, talking about Dr. Black in Cluedo, which is 50 years old today, and to celebrate, an extra murder weapon is being added to a new version of the game. So now you can poison him, as well as the usual methods of disposing of him. But with computers and video games becoming ever more sophisticated, is there still a place for traditional board games? Over to our very own Reverend Green, Declan Curry.
Tanya,